be too deep. I think I'm dying here, man.
Welcome to the 3B Video Deep Cut Podcast.
Watch a few movies, take a few notes.
It was fun.
Aw, yeah, it's that time again for another bi-weekly podcast with your hosts, Rotten Roger DeMarco and
Evil Dead Inks. And I'm sorry, but how often do girls blow their heads off in this shithole town?
That's right. It is time to talk about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre reboot. One of them Platinum Dunes boys. One of the first ones.
This is the first one. This is the platinum standard.
Yeah.
Every franchise after, like, well, Texas Chainsaw is literally the only one that was successful enough to get a prequel sequel made. And the rest of them all just did one and done. Like, same guy that did this did Friday the 13th. Did really well, I thought. And then we never got anything else from it. And Platinum Dunes did Nightmare on Elm Street and did what it did. And we never got anything else from it. So it's like everyone's trying to recapture this, apparently.
Yeah. So everybody went that Platinum Dunes route except Halloween. Halloween went the Rob Zombie route. And, we've already discussed that.
I don't know which I'd rather have, a Platinum Dunes Halloween or the Rob Zombie Halloween.
I do enjoy that first Rob Zombie's Halloween, but that's just me, apparently. But, so here we are with this film. We're going back, trying to go back to the basics, trying to go back to ground zero, but we've got that weird 2003 oversaturation, weird color palette thing going on. Like,
a bit.
This became a new thing, yeah.
So how does it feel officially, as of this recording, this film is now 20 years old.
Feels kind of ridiculous.
That this new remake is, 2 decades old at this point.
Yeah, that's fucking strange. And it's still, every time I watch it, it still just looks too new. I like it. I like this movie a lot, but every time I look at it, I'm like, man, what's going on with that? Like, it's almost like a bleach bypass. Like heavy blacks. The colors are like super faded, but certain things are overly saturated and pop really hard. And this weird amount of film grain type of thing going on. I don't know what's going on with that look.
I think it's a attempt to kind of capture that grimy summer heat kind of feel. And I think it has flashes of heat, but for the most part I feel grimy and cold.
Yeah, a little bit. And I think that has to do with the lack of oranges, the lack of yellow in the color palette, because it's more on a muted, everything looks sweaty, Yeah, but it almost feels like fever sweaty, like sick sweat.
Yeah, cold sweat. Yeah, it doesn't have that oppressive, like you've been out in the summer heat all day kind of vibe. Like you want to open the windows up and get an ice pack watching the original Texas Chainsaw. This one you probably would curl up with a blanket.
You're out of your mind. You've been out in the sun too long.
No one in this movie, it feels like they've been out in the sun too long. It doesn't even seem that hot in the van when there's 4 or 5 of them in the van. Like, it felt like I would kill everyone in that original van just to get some fresh air. And this one, there's so much room. Probably because also they don't have a Franklin in this either.
True. We don't get a Franklin. We get overly handsome.
Yeah, we get very
MTV era. Yeah.
Very 2003 heartthrob van full of folks, including Jessica Biel. In one of her rare horror movie appearances. This and I think Blade Trinity. What else she done? Like was it the Bye Bye Man or?
She's not in it. I don't think she's in that. But
it's one of those Slender Mans. One of those.
Who knows?
One of those something man movies. Yeah.
Yeah, which turns out to be something nothing. Those movies are, I don't know.
I don't give a fuck. She could do whatever. Although, like, Jessica Biel's in this, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, she's cool. I don't have a problem with her per se, but again, it kind of goes to that thing we talked about a few weeks ago with Texas Chainsaw 2, is it's too many recognizable faces. Not a lot of unknowns in this movie.
Yeah. But also they don't feel, minus, Afro Mustache Man, none of them look like they would come out, because they reset this in the late 70s again, so it's supposed to be, there's the other hard pressing of like trying to redo exactly what was done originally, like let's put it in the same day, same time frame, same narrator too. Let's bring back Larroquette to do more of his work, which that was cool. I dug that.
Do you remember the original trailer push for this movie?
Yeah, I remember seeing it and not knowing at the time it was TCM. I just added 2003. I just was not like coinciding the date and time with it, but it was a little bit, and I was like, they remade Texas Chainsaw, but they remade Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Did you see the theatrical trailer though? Not the trailer that got the TV push.
Yeah,
the one that's
like 2.5 minutes where it ends with him slamming the door shut.
No. You haven't seen this trailer I'm speaking of. It might
You got the old
jar some
the old lady
sort of memory
in there going, oh my.
The original theatrical push trailer that I saw, which you don't see anything, and this is why this trailer fucking hyped me to the gills. It was like the second trailer in a string of trailers, and I can't remember what movie I was seeing, but so the lights have completely gone down in the theater. We fade out from one trailer and we stay black. The screen stays completely black, and you're hearing like floor creak, and it's going all around the theater. You're hearing panting, breathing, you're hearing big heavy footsteps, you're hearing a girl almost hyperventilating, and searching through cabinets and stuff, like, and then the girl screams, and then it just said Texas Chainsaw Massacre coming soon, and the whole fucking theater was like, whoa! And I can't remember what fucking movie we were seeing, but I was like, that is brilliant.
Too Fast, Too Furious.
No.
Oh, that would probably be
Never.
more Tokyo Drift era. That sounds familiar, but I can't place it. But yeah, the one I'm thinking of is the one that's like the 3 minutes, and we get just the flash of him at the very, very end slamming the door shut. We get a lot of like, there's a slow musical number that plays, a lot of the kids. We get the hitchhiker introduced, and a little bit of the legless dude in the house. A lot of shots of that farmhouse with those giant pillars in front of it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I remember, but I do also remember going to see this in the theater.
Yeah.
Aside from it feeling very like grimy, rough, I remember there was the only other people in the theater were a couple of older ladies that came in and sat like 6 or 7 rows. Not older like at the time. Like, keep in mind in 03, I'm 19, 20 years old, so these ladies were about 35, maybe 40 range.
Like our
yeah,
age
where I'm
now,
at now. Yeah, exactly. A lot of what I see in my head now is me rolling into the theater, and they're like, you can hear them kind of like making a little bit, and they're trying to be quiet. They're not making a lot of noise, but you can tell they're making like some noise, chit-chatting before things get settled. And then I hear a couple of beer bottles clank and roll down the steps, because they're about halfway up the seating in the theater. So I was like, oh shit, they're fucking having a time up there. Like, let's sneak in some beers and watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So that, for good or bad, is what my lasting impressions were on seeing it in the theater. What about you? When was did you made it to the theater for this?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, when I was with my ex-wife, I don't know.
She's gone now.
Yeah, she's never to be seen again. No, she's a big serial killer fan, read a lot of, serial killer literature and stuff, and watched a lot of serial killer documentaries and stuff. Before this whole, like, now that we're older, there's this weird true crime boom. When we were in high school, it was, like, weird. It was, like, a weird little niche thing that you would go to the bookstore and get your, Ted Bundy book or whatever. But so she was obsessed with that type of stuff, and which led her down the road of watching all of these movies that were based off of serial killers, and that's how she became this. She was a massive Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan. And day one, we went to the theater to see that movie, and we were really hyped on it. We were like, because you get Leatherface back. It was grimy. It was nasty. I think we saw it in theaters twice.
Oh wow!
Because we were like, damn, okay. And then like I was telling you off air, when this hit DVD, I was working in a factory, and I had blown like almost all of my money during the weekend, because we would go up to the city and shop and go see other movies and all this stuff. And I was down to like my last $26, and maybe had a quarter of a tank of gas in my car and had to get through the rest of the week. But I knew Texas Chainsaw hit DVD that Tuesday morning. So I got off of work and I drove maybe 50 miles to a Walmart, bought Texas Chainsaw, drove home, and then, was like, hey, babe, can I borrow some money? To get me through the rest of the week. But yeah, I was really hyped on this movie, and I was for a number of years. And it wasn't until, recent life where I started to kind of be like, I'm not as big a fan.
I don't know where I fit, because I got done with it. Even rewatching, I'm like, this is all right. But I probably have less than 5 probably total watchings in 20 years. So I mean, in the theatrical version like that, probably once or twice. I eventually got it on disc. I'm pretty sure my disc is like a used Blockbuster DVD. I did not buy it. I did not buy it new.
You were not like hyped to get it.
No, I was not like, And then eventually, in the early days of starting the collection, of that mentality that eventually had to break of, well, I got to get them all. I got the series. I got to get them all. So I got it. And then, I've rewatched it twice within the last year, because a friend came over that wanted to rewatch it, and then rewatching it for doing this, I was like, yeah, it's okay, but it's just nothing about it, aside from Jessica Biel's ass. That I'm
or
like,
lack thereof.
Oh, it's there. It's there.
So, upon my rewatch,
yeah,
I got. Let's just break this down. In our old man mentality. Upon my rewatch, for prepping for this podcast, the thing that I noticed, which is what I think is my big problem. I mean, you already brought it up. You brought up the house, the giant pillars and stuff. The house is a pretty good metaphor for this movie. The house had to be bigger, had to be
grander.
It had to be this big giant spectacle. It had to command your attention on the screen, and it had to house this weird family, and it had to house all these different rooms of trouble and all this nastiness. So the house is a big indication of like, look how much more imposing, look how much more massive this movie is going to be. And then Leatherface is the exact same thing. And don't get me wrong, Leatherface needs to be imposing, because we talked about it 2 weeks ago. He was a puss and didn't do anything. In this movie, they're like, fuck that, he's Gunnar Hansen on every steroid, you know.
No, Dad.
Trained by Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No.
Like, he's gonna spit in Arlie Ermey's fucking mouth. They're gonna spit back and forth, and then he's gonna go rob a bank. I'm just naming as many. Andrew Bynarski
Gets kidnapped by Danny DeVito. Cause I'm sorry, that's all I can think of when I see him. Is he's Christopher Walken's son in Batman Returns, and all I can think of is that, go, Dad, go.
And he's also Zangief, right?
Yeah, quick, change the channel. See, I forget he's that. I just think of him trying to be fucking a hulking Walken.
He's Latimer in the program, and my favorite movie that he's in is just a little TV movie called 44 Minutes, which was about that North Hollywood,
the North Hollywood
bank
shootout.
robbery.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the whole shootout, he's one of the robbers.
Nice.
Which fits perfect, right? You know, big, dumb guy with body armor, fucking AK-47 shooting at cops. But really good movie.
He looks like the guy that would hold another guy that would fire the AK-47.
Right.
Yeah, he's just holding two guys by the belt, and they both got two guns in each hand. They're like, I'm firing 4 guns while holding 2 body armor pieces. 2 meat shields.
So Bynarski is, and he's not like film-wise, he's not my biggest problem with this movie. But, you know, personally, I don't like him. But that's just personal politics. But
I don't like him. You know, like
him,
Crazy Eyes from Mr. D. He's like, who's your friend? This is Andrew. I don't like him. Okay.
Stevie B. You know, but I mean, as a Leatherface, he's fine. Okay, he does a good job. But it was when Gunnar Hansen died. That's when my utter disdain for this movie kind of crept in. My utter disdain for him crept in because Gunnar passed away. And for anyone listening who, you know, doesn't remember that or have like a super close tie to that, like Evil and I are really big into the convention scene. Gunnar happened to be fucking weeks away from attending the only convention we attend. And we were like, we're going to get to meet Gunnar Hansen. He is a big deal because right around that time we had discovered Brutal Massacre. And so we knew him for something other than this Leatherface role. And we were so excited to, you know, kind of kiss his butt about being in that movie. And he passed away, and that really hit us hard.
I still remember very clearly I was at the Nerds and Nostalgia podcast guys' place doing a recording there, I think for Nightmare on Elm Street 3. And then, like, as we were leaving their house, like, super late that night, I looked at my phone and saw that he had died. And I was like, oh, shit. I got to message Raj and let him know.
Yeah,
it was like, well, we're not going to get to meet Gunnar, which crushed the wife, too, because she definitely wanted to meet him and tell her story that I don't know. I don't even remember if I told when we talked about the original TCM that was her childhood boogeyman. She would just imagine being in her little girl bed and big-ass Gunnar Hansen with a chainsaw underneath it trying to rev his chainsaw up. And I'm like, I love the kid logic that you thought that was something that was possible and not thinking about, like, this 6-foot, 300-pound guy under a, like, infant's bed trying to rev a chainsaw up.
It's 6 inches away from the floor. Like,
yeah,
his
elbow is hitting the floor or the bed frame trying to just get pull the tab on it. Fuck it. Just upend it.
Yeah, that's hilarious. But
yeah.
So when that happened with Gunnar, man,
I guess they
Bynarski,
had been feuding, but I thought they were feuding like Kane and R.A. Mihailoff feuding.
Yeah, like jokingly feud.
Yeah, but I guess Andrew's a bit softer than we thought.
Yeah, he's got an ego. You don't get that big because you don't have an ego.
But he's apparently too sensitive to be jazzed, like or what's the word I'm looking for? Razzed.
Yeah, messed with, but
don't poke him.
He, and this is the age of social media, so he tweeted something that I remember being like dude. I remember Snapchatting you, like, hey, this guy's a piece of shit. Because he basically said, like, oh, fucking boo-hoo, your Leatherface died, like, blah, blah, blah. And he was just really rude, like, all you fucking Vulture fans and da-da-da-da, you guys go, something about, like, crying in your basements or whatever. And then someone commented, like, hey, man, maybe, like, show a little respect because you wouldn't be where you are if it wasn't for him. And that's when it, like, it just fucking blew up. And right then and there, I was like, I don't like him, and I don't like that movie. So I probably went like a good 7-8 years without watching that movie.
Yeah, you messaged me and like, hey, that guy that played Leatherface is a piece of shit in real life, in my opinion. I'm like, who is he again? Oh, he's that fucking goober from Batman Returns. All right.
Yeah,
very much
that
like
guy sucks.
Okay, and moved on because I was like, I don't have a dog in the fight on this movie that would like, well, I gotta get rid of my copy, or I gotta watch it immediately. It was kind of like, it's raining out today. All right.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah. It was just one of those things that came and went, and like I said, all I did was just not watch the movie for a hot minute, and then, you know, when I rewatch it, I'm like, man, it's not a bad movie, but there are things about it I don't like as much. Number one for me is gonna be that little kid.
Oh,
Jedediah with his fucking overly large dentures.
That I feel like I can definitely see where his Friday the 13th remake would come later. I was like, that felt very like, is he trying to be like young Jason? And then it's Nispel, the same guy that directed. Okay, he has a vision. He has a particular vision, and you can see the ties.
Mm-hmm.
I thought
it's a lot like Rob Zombie has the white trash thing in every movie.
Yeah.
Nispel has this weird oversaturated.
You can't leave the 70s.
Mm-hmm. Hillbilly thing going on.
I thought for sure you were gonna go on a tear about the mask, because I don't know how I feel about Leatherface's mask in this one.
Okay, so I don't hate the mask. I'm okay.
I don't love it either.
No. It's better than TCM 2. It's obviously better than everything in TCM 4. So, by that logic, especially for us not having a Leatherface for nearly a decade, right? When you get to see him, you're like, oh yeah! And then, you know, subsequent viewings, like there's a lot of weird promo shots of him, like standing in the rain, kind of with his like side profile, and his hair's kind of slicky. Then you start to really look at that mask, and it's like this weird, bumpy, kind of almost green thing. And then, like when you see it in light, it's a problem. When you keep him in shadows, which this whole movie is so oversaturated, and
not bright,
you know, they really crank up those blacks. You would assume we're gonna keep him in the shadows, but we don't. And that's when you kind of start to looks a little bit like a rubber mask, but
a little bit. I'm the same way when we have him taking off a dude's entire face and wears it, like it looks cool.
Kemper.
Yeah, I've not seen it done like that before, but I'm also like, how do you like it? Like, I like it. I don't love it. Mm-hmm. But I don't know why I don't love it.
That whole sequence, though, of here's where this movie does good things. You know, we get Jessica Biel telling her boyfriend Kemper, like, you know, when are you gonna put a ring on my finger? Da 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 da. And that whole
if you like it, you should have put a ring on it. Oh, this is 78. Yeah,
it's got to be a Lynyrd Skynyrd song, but
yeah.
Yeah, so there's this, you know, they have this topsy-turvy.
That's the most side bullshit thing right there. Like that, like we got to make it seem like 78. We'll give them weed and tell them they're going to a Skynyrd concert. Done.
Yep. Yeah, my work here is done. The writer's like, they also drive a green van.
Yep.
So.
Like, all right, I'll earn my $40K here. Skynyrd weed van. Check,
done.
Please.
Yeah, no air condition.
Yeah.
Done.
Oh, turn the air off too.
Yeah. So yeah, like there is some good stuff in the writing. Like I said, with the discussion of, when are you going to put a ring on my finger, blah, blah, blah. And then like they have their topsy-turvy relationship because clearly he went to go buy weed when they went on this vacation. And
ulterior motives. Betrayal.
But like, we don't come out and say certain things about these characters. They're just left up to your own devices when you're watching it. And then when Leatherface has killed Kemper, spoiler alert, and strings him up, obviously he had a ring. Like he was going to propose. And so we get to see that, which it's a nice touch. It's a nice little thing to be like, here's an extra character element for this guy, even though he's dead.
There ain't much.
A nice way to kind of, yeah. Not a lot of character development in this movie. But it's called Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So
I'd love to, in my mind, interject the reality into a brief bit of reality into that. Like, say they didn't run across this hitchhiker who had a gun hidden conveniently somewhere nice and warm, which is its own, like, well, that's a scene I don't want to see, but I would love to have explained to me. Yeah, particularly when she's walking for a good while in summer heat with a whole revolver, I'm assuming barrel turned inward out so you could grab the handle, just don't squeeze the trigger.
Barrel deep.
Yeah, barrel deep. That whole revolver deep. That's Smith & Wesson deep.
Yeah, you do a Kegel and you fucking shoot.
Just sneeze.
Shoot in the concrete.
Just sneeze and you're, what was that? Death.
The driver's got a hole in the back of his head. That's how the fucking bus or the thing crashes. Yeah.
But let's say they didn't interact with the hitchhiker, didn't interact with the Hewitts, which I also don't care for that name replacement. Hewitt over
Thomas
Sawyer.
Hewitt.
They both sound have a southern kind of connotation in my mind to it, but I feel Sawyer hits a bit better than Hewitt. But they didn't interact with any of those folks. They got to where they were going. Let's say they get out of the van. He's gonna do it then and there and propose. I bet you that ring don't fit. Because I'm like,
probably.
I was like, if anything, if he got her ring size, it was somewhere room temperature controlled or cool. Summer heat, that shit's gonna be swole. You ain't gonna get that ring on her finger. It's gonna get halfway to that knuckle and just
Yeah, put some butter on it.
Yeah, spit up. Your hands are all swell from being hot, and I ruined it. Just little bits that I think I was like, that shit ain't wouldn't have fit on her finger in August 78 heat.
What if Leatherface had just like dremeled a little hole in it and then made an earring for his skin?
It's 03. You would have put that shit through his lip or his nose or I guess he doesn't have a nose. Yeah, back to the lip.
So that's the other thing. Fuck that. He wears a mask because he had a skin eating disorder. I hate that CGI missing nose. I'm like, no, he's a fucking crazy person. He's like, crazy. Like,
crazy.
Yeah, like that makes more sense, right? I don't know, like, because if he is missing his nose, if he has a giant open wound on his face at all times, sure, let me put rotting human flesh over top of it and get every infection ever. You can get gangrene just from touching it, coroner said.
I had to keep reminding myself, my 1978 logic, like when he pulls out the saran wrap to wrap up this corpse. 1978, that probably was protocol then. Like they didn't have a forensics team.
Well, he's not a real cop either, so.
True, but from the kids' perspectives of like, well, that probably is how it, like, yeah, just drag her out of here. That's right. That's a lot of saran wrap too, by the way.
I got just as much respect for the dead body as anybody. Don't put that nasty thing in my back seat. Put it in the trunk. Don't break my stuff. Don't break my stuff.
Man, R. Lee Ermey as the
show stealer,
which is hilarious that we're at a point where we've went as far as we could with the original series. Mm-hmm. Let's remake it. They know, we all know, Leatherface is your key component. That's
He's
your guy.
muscle, you're heavy, yeah.
This is the guy that, in theory, like, we should build this around him. This should be his movie. And even when in 2003, when that had to be the mentality, he's still second fiddle to somebody. And this, it's Arlie Ermey, who clearly is the head of the table. He is the Roman Reigns of this family. And it's just hilarious to me that even when they really are going to put all their eggs in the basket of, all right, we're not going to screw it up this time. Leatherface is going to be our main guy. Mm-hmm. Except when he's not.
Yeah. And, you know, also for anyone listening who doesn't recognize that name, you have to been living under a rock, right? And you and I would say we're pretty big fans of him. I think, especially in this point in his career, because he's always been a very stoic, angry actor. Like, he is a drill sergeant. He was a drill sergeant. That's why he works so well as the drill sergeant.
Full Metal Jacket, by the way, if you don't know what we're talking about. The drill sergeant from that's who Arlie Ermey is. And everyone probably, if they don't know him then, you'll, oh, that guy, okay. Also the dead drill instructor from The Frighteners, playing pretty much, I'm guessing, his dead ghost character from the Full Metal Jacket movie.
Right. But he had hit like a certain point in his career where even he was very self-aware of what makes him famous is like the delivery, the anger,
the imposingness for such a little guy.
Yeah, but taking that big voice and that all that anger and everything that he does, his facial mannerisms, and putting them into more comedic roles like Saving Silverman, and with this movie, it's perfect because he's walking that like dead serious delivery, that deadpan Arlie Ermey delivery, but it's so fucking funny at times.
Oh yeah, he's the
levity.
Yeah, he's the best capturing of that. Look what your brother did to the door. From the original.
That's perfect.
Yeah, everything he's like, well, she's dead, ain't gonna hurt you, she ain't gonna bite you, just grab her. Like, just perfect at that. Do you remember the show he used to have even around this time? Like,
yeah, it was like an army show where he like shoot cannons or something.
I don't remember him shooting stuff. I remember like he had like a write-in section where he would just answer like fan mail about military shit. And I was like,
so it was a military show.
Yeah,
it was a military show on maybe
History Channel,
Spike or Discovery Channel,
like
History
that.
Channel.
Yeah, I don't know if Discovery.
But it was always
a little bit too more educational than that. But definitely one of those like side cable new network channels like USA Network, Sci-Fi, something in that kind of package deal.
It seems to me because around that time, like Fight Quest was big, Deadliest Warrior was amazing, which I fucking love Deadliest Warrior. So Arlie Ermey's show was military stuff, you know, discussing military weapons. Mm-hmm. It would show you like what a military weapon would do.
Yeah, what's a sniper rifle do?
Yeah, discuss certain things about warfare and weaponry, and then he would like answer fan mail. But I swear to God, there was a promo where he like shot a cannon or something.
I mean, it's probably in there where he's firing. Like they got to bury it up somewhere in that show. Like we can't just have 30 minutes of him just answering just fan mail. It's got to have him shoot some shit in there or something.
I don't think I need to tell you, maggots, that these uniforms that you are wearing directly represent the United States of America. It is your obligation to perform your duties through rain, sleet, snow, dark and night, and hellfire if it's necessary. Is that understood?
Sir, yes, sir!
Hoorah!
The Gunny is back for a whole new season of Mail Call, next Friday at 10 p.m.
What are you looking at?
Yeah, him and his eyebrows in this movie steal the show for this family, which is a pretty wide family now. Like we went from 3 people pretty much to, I mean, how many? I didn't even keep counting how many. There's this. I felt like it kind of had some of that mentality of like they're everywhere. Everywhere you go, they have like sleeper cells. Here, there, everywhere. Like someone in the family is stationed everywhere in Travis County, Texas.
And it feels very like inbred, but not like Not like Hills Have Eyes or fucking Wrong Turn inbred, you know? Like they're just like one generation of breeding with each other. They feel, I don't know. I feel like that.
I thought you're going with the like anywhere you go, there's like, oh, I'm so and so's cousin.
Yep.
Like there's just so much degree of separation from bloodline wherever you go in the town.
Yeah, pretty much. Which is that small town shit, except they're just out in the middle of nowhere in Texas.
Yeah. That was a different element to it that they brought in, which I'm in that gray area of like, do I like a bigger family or a smaller family? Do I want a family of weird three dudes essentially living in a house with a corpse, or do I want this expanded family where we got kids, men, women, older, younger, the whole gambit? Like, I don't know.
So here's the issue, or at least my issue, is you can only pull the old okey doke so many times, and then it stops working. So initially, our old okey doke is he's the sheriff.
Yeah,
he's not the sheriff. Then we get Jessica Biel runs away, goes to that trailer park, and it's like, oh, I'm safe. Oh no, you're not.
Sinking
you know,
to the couch.
we do this. We do this too many times to where we're okay, and it starts to wear on you, especially for me in that last maybe 20 minutes of the movie. I'm like, oh, you've escaped, and now you're back, and now you're escaped. Like, I don't.
Yeah, just give me one kind of grand escape, then like two mid-level kind of escapes. Although that other escape, there's two shots or scenes, I guess you would say, in the movie that I was like, that was pretty well done. One, of course, is obvious, the gunshot through the hitchhiker's skull, like the pan back. Yeah. That's cool. You can totally kind of get some of that 03 CGI in there that takes it down a notch, but not a whole lot. And the other one that totally, it fucking got me, is when Arlie Ermey's approaching the 18-wheeler in the rain, and you think that that's Biel in there trying to hotwire this 18-wheeler, but swerve, bro, she's actually in his car ready to run his ass over once, twice, 3 times, a flat guy.
Yeah, they do some good jobs of, subverting your expectations in some certain scenes, but this movie did do one cardinal sin as far as I'm concerned, and it is the jumping of the shark, if you will, of this film is, for me, first time watching this movie in the theater, I'm going along for this ride, I'm vibing super hard. I'm in, I'm fully invested in Leatherface, the family, and the entire story. We all know, like, if you're going to remake...
I wonder if I think I know where this is going. I have an idea, but I'm curious.
So, like, we all know the Texas Chainsaw Massacre template. Like, everyone has to die except for one person, and then they get away. And we leave it open-ended for a sequel, which we're doing. This movie is progressing in that direction. And then all of a sudden, Jessica Biel takes a fucking meat cleaver and chops off Leatherface's arm, therefore destroying any hope of a sequel. The only way we can go now is backwards to prequel land, and they fucked it. They fucked it right there. And every single time I watch the movie, I go,
well, this is done.
Why? He looks like such a fucking moron with half an arm. I just hate.
Which is hilarious, because this is the only rebooted franchise that's getting sequels and has had the staying power to get more movies made, and it totally leaves it with that. I figured that had to be it. It was like, yeah, it was the same thing for me. I was like, well, that's kind of fucks the series. Like, he's got an arm off now.
Yeah, he's got an arm off. He's got a robot arm in the sequel. No, like,
yeah, he
didn't think that through, man.
He's got Matthew McConaughey's knee sticking out of his arm. But yeah, they totally, like, this is the franchise that had the most legs, and they leave Leatherface with one fucking arm. Like, you have nowhere to go on this. And it's great because the other
chainsaw.
It's great because the other, he can't start a chainsaw with one foot unless he's using his teeth. But they left the other franchise they rebooted open-ended, totally fine, and they went nowhere. Mm-hmm. Like, I love that. Yeah, I love that that's how things unfolded. Oh man, I can't. I figured that's exactly where. Yeah, I figured that's exactly where you were going. Is because I remember not in the same mindset, but in the same mindset of like, I guess there's not going to be any more of these after this.
Yeah, no, he's just going to jam the fucking chainsaw onto his stump like Ash, but it'd be at his elbow.
Yeah, this is
so
way
it looks stupid. It just so and again,
or they just ignore. Which I mean, I wouldn't have been surprised also if they just did what the rest of the 4 movies previously have done. Like, he just has a knee injury. The rest will just. I mean, he's been stabbed in the stomach with a chainsaw, and we're like, well, he got away from part 2 to 3 with that, so fuck it. We'll make another one where he just has an arm again.
He just sewed his arm back on.
Yeah, just sewed it back. Why not, I guess. But I love that our mindset was like, well, they're done.
Yeah, and again, the fucking last 20 minutes of this movie, dude, we're building on some cool shit. The slaughterhouse, like, it had rained, and then there's all that extra fog, and we've got this amazing set piece of the slaughterhouse for the final chase, air quotes, because we go further. We have to go all the way back to the gas station or whatever.
I just call it like the grand finale.
Yeah, the abandoned house where Jonathan Tucker gets the chainsaw to his crotch. Which again, this is a 2003 super grimy, gritty movie, and you would think they would show a little bit more.
You know, we want to see a severed ball flying.
We want to see some Terrifier level, but we don't. And I love Jonathan Tucker, though, by the way. I think he's, in my opinion, the most real character in this movie.
I keep forgetting that's him. I guess the whole, like, how he decided to
do
his
facial hair? Yeah,
the facial hair, the glasses, and the big old fro he's got going. I'm like, oh, I forget that's him. I'm pretty sure he's the one that's in, not 8 Days a Week, a movie called 100 Girls. Kind of like a borderline raunchy rom-com in the early aughts. I thought was pretty good. I keep wanting to say 8 Days a Week, but that's a completely different movie. That's pretty much a same kind of premise of a real over raunch but rom-com element to it. And yeah, I don't know where I decided to go off on that in a whole tangent, but I was just like, I forgot that was him in that. I saw his IMDb
awesome.
picture, and I'm like, yo, yeah, that is him. He's the only one He's the only one that looks time appropriate.
Hostage with Bruce Willis. He's one of the bad guys in that.
I know of it. I also know he did one of the Call of Duties. I think maybe even he did World War II Call of Duty, because
nice.
You can clearly see that's him in one of the characters you play off of. I'm like, I know that dude. I know that guy. Like
it. Well, let me tell you this: if you can find Hostage on any streaming app, or if you find it at the stock for $5,
buy it. Don't think about it. Buy it.
I'm telling you, fucking buy Hostage. It's awesome. It is awesome, and no one ever fucking talks about it, and it's so goddamn good. Just come on, Shelley. But
I'll do my best.
He's incredible in that movie, and he's the last of the survivors. He's the last one with Jessica Biel. He gets taken out, so then it's purely Jessica Biel. The one thing this movie doesn't do that I feel like we're all expecting is the dinner sequence.
Yeah.
But we don't get it.
Yeah.
So
I was kind of...
So
they lead to that in bits where we get the guy that's put on the hook, which I feel that's way more intense and gruesome. Just go around, dude on the hook, and he gets his leg cut off, and that, like, the salt, like, jammed up into his stump. Mm-hmm. I'm like, man, I can understand the dude being like, just finish me off.
Yeah, because, like, the hook isn't completely coming through him, but it feels like it's, like, sticking out of his...
Yeah, it's just enough sticking out where it's like, ugh.
Yeah, like it wants to poke all the way through, and that's like, God, that seems like that hurts real, real bad.
Yeah, that was an improvement. That's the one time I'll be like, that's an improvement, because over the original, because your mind does all the work in the original on that hook sequence. This one, they give us just a little bit more. Mm-hmm. Not, it's like, it's not poking all the way through the chest, and blood isn't, spurting tubes everywhere and shooting all over Jessica Biel's face.
Right.
Just enough. Just that little bit more that's like, okay, that's a good refraining from going over the top, but going just the step further.
Yeah, and so there's another one that every time I talk about this movie, I feel like I have to remind people that this happens because they don't show it. They leave it up to you, which is, in some points or sometimes that's fine to leave it up to the viewer, but sometimes you should show it. And what I'm talking about is Leatherface killing Jedediah, the little boy. Most people are like, he doesn't kill him. I'm like, he clearly kills him. You hear the chainsaw. You know he did it. It's just you convincing yourself he didn't. It's like, it's like when people watch Nightmare on Elm Street and they're like, child killer, not molester. Like,
oh, I thought you were going to go with Halloween.
Come on now.
I thought you were going with Halloween 3 of like, oh, did the children get saved? Did the commercial get pulled to the last second? Or are they all dead?
Everyone's dead. Everyone's dead.
Dead.
But I mean, if you would have just at least shown Leatherface turn around and then even do a Jedediah's POV of the chainsaw coming at the camera, would have been better. But we just we cut away to her running and hearing the chainsaw.
Because my initial comeback is, well, still don't think we're in a place where a kid killing is like passable for movies to really do, but filming it how you just described it, I'm like, well, shit, yeah, they did the same thing for Freddy vs. Jason in the opening bits of that. So like, okay, that's you found the workaround for it. I'm in. That
way you're not like splattering a kid in half, but like it's more evident on the screen, like, yeah, he killed that kid. Because the kid is clearly on Jessica Biel's side and like bites his ankle or whatever he does.
Who wouldn't be? I would bite Leatherface's fucking face. I'll bite his nose off for Jessica Biel.
I'm not putting my mouth on anything that Leatherface is wearing or him in general. I just feel like some bitch gonna smell just like a slaughterhouse.
Which smells like ravioli and pennies.
Beefy!
And here's the other thing, which we don't necessarily get in this movie, but we do in the prequel, which we'll talk about in 2 weeks. But like, we get the slaughterhouse at the end of this movie, but the slaughterhouse is in like, to me, everything's stainless steel and looks really clean still. It looks like it's still operational.
Looks like it'd be a slaughterhouse in 2023 instead of 1978 before we had, health code.
Yeah, like, but it seems far too operational, not run down,
not abandoned.
Because the whole purpose is that they lost their jobs at the slaughterhouse and then they start eating people, because that's that whole we eat people out of necessity. But in this movie, at the end, the slaughterhouse still has working lights, working sprinklers, animals.
Yeah, that's not abandoned at all.
Yeah, there's literally chunks of fucking cow meat in the freezer that she hides in. Like,
so clearly they were the problem. It was not this.
So they just fired you guys.
Yeah, so you were just some dirty motherfuckers and they fired you for it. Like, it had nothing to do with, like, the business still. Slaughter business in Texas is a booming, but y'all for bad.
There's this
for
new
business.
thing called OSHA, and you guys need to take baths.
Yeah, like this is a family of walking lawsuits. We got to get them the fuck out of here. Tell them we shut down. They'll buy that shit, and they do.
Yeah. So in the prequel, when Leatherface is born, we're in that same slaughterhouse, or we're led to believe it's the same slaughterhouse when Leatherface is born, and it's filthy and gross, and they shut it down. They shut it down when Leatherface becomes a man, a teenager.
We had a childbirth here. We got to close this shit down.
So I don't know. But in 2 weeks we'll get into that one. But too damn clean of a slaughterhouse, I'm telling you.
Which I haven't really. Probably under 3 times I've watched that prequel when we get to that. So
it's not bad.
Almost looking forward to it. That was something the wife had in her collection when we met. So like, I can finally see this now. Because full disclosure, I had no interest when it came out. of like a prequel, like, I'm good. But
I think I like it more than this one. So, and mainly because it's not a story that we already know, you know, so it got a chance to be something new. It got a chance to just do what it wanted instead of making trailer moment.
It's the 6th attempt to make Leatherface the central figure in his own series.
Then they don't. Sidebar. Just saying, dude.
It's going to take them a whole lot longer before they figure out how to do it. But yeah. The only other thing I can think of to wrap up some initial stuff around this movie is, again, I had to go back to, it's 1978 when we get to the end of this and Biel's running over Ermey's corpse 3 times over. I was like, man, that would just, like, she should be, after running over him the 3rd time, shit should just be falling off that car when she's pulling away. Like, it should just be fucked. I'm like,
but it's steel. It's like an old school steel car.
Oh yeah, this isn't 2003 or even 2023 automobile technology. This was shit that was made to last forever. So you could run over humans, deer, probably drive that shit through a brick wall and be fine.
Absolutely.
You hit a possum at 20 miles an hour nowadays. You know, like, you might as well just total this car out.
Yeah, sidebar to that, we're literally rewatching Sopranos, and we just hit that episode where Vito ran over that tree branch and then had to walk all the way into the fucking city. And I'm like, yeah, that's about right. That's a 2006, 2007 car.
That's a newer age car. Back in my day, we could run over Ermey not once, not twice, but 3 times. And get away.
Before we jump into our next segment, the one thing that we have not discussed in this movie that feels so absolutely goddamn bullshittingly shoehorned into this movie is...
Bullshittingly. I like that.
We fucking kidnapped this baby, and we're gonna keep this baby, and, like, it's the hitchhiker's family's baby, or the hitchhiker's baby, or whatever, and I just, that whole stuff, I'm like, cut this. Who fucking cares? Who cares? I know she's got to go into that trailer and drink the tea and get drugged and then wake up or whatever, but this fucking baby stuff, dude.
I mean,
God damn it.
I feel it's a death knell for any TV series when they run their course. Like, just put a baby in there. That'll shake things up.
Yeah, everyone loves babies.
Yeah, except the novelty wears off when it's not your own real fucking quick.
Babies. They are babies.
Yeah, but I mean, it keeps solidifying Jessica Biel's pure as the driven snow personality, which, man, I think she outdoes Johnny Depp in Nightmare on Elm Street for being the purest character in horror cinema. Like she's pissed off. They're like, you guys came down here for weed. Weed's illegal, man. It's 1970.
Man.
In 1978, she's like, that shit's bad for you, dog. Down with the dope. Like, well, I gotta save this baby. This baby's pure innocence, and they're gonna tarnish it with human meat.
Ridiculous. It's just a fucking weird little sidebar. And Nispel just does this, okay? Friday the 13th, oh, Jason kidnaps people. Shut up. Nispel just has this thing in him. He can't let it go. I'm in the 3rd act. I have to have something weird. I'm trying to think of what the one is in Elm Street that... A lot of stuff in Elm Street bothers me, but...
But we're convinced there's a real good movie hidden somewhere in that movie. Man, I don't know. I'd have to relook and think what was the weird element in that movie. Maybe just maybe probably the whole thing of, like, trying to convince us for a hot second that, like, maybe he was an innocent guy.
No, get that out of here. Yeah, that can go too. He's bad.
Yeah, that'd probably be my equivalent of trying to pinpoint what it'd be for the Elm Street remake. It was like, that they toyed for a hot minute that maybe he was an innocent guy. Oh shit, no, he's not. No, just keep him bad.
That's the Nispel writing style. Throw one weird thing in there just to fill up a good 20 minutes of the movie, can you?
Yeah, that was Sam Bayer that did the Elm Street one, I believe.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, there's still an element there of, like, something weird. thrown in. But speaking of weird, folks, since this is apparently a fairly popular movie, I mean, it does get a lot of the merch nowadays, as far as like Spirit Halloween and stuff like that. Like it's out there, but there's some folks that either aren't in a good way, or as I am, in a gray area on this movie. Some people are on the bad side of Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003. We have to call them the Amazon 1-star reviews.
Hated it.
Oh boy, we got a few on this. First up is E. Stamper. Maybe it's short for Emmett Stamper. I don't know. September 18th, 2022. 1 star. Not $1.85. Great remake, but this Blu-ray is full. I thought he meant $1.85.
Oh.
Great remake, but this Blu-ray is full screen, not 1.85. Kind of.
I like it better.
Yeah, not $1.85. Kind of part of the point of buying this Blu-ray, see the movies as was intended, not chopped up like most streaming. So he's just he's a cinema snob of sorts.
There you go.
Yeah, you probably could buy this for $1.85.
Yeah, I challenge you to find it for more expensive.
What's your most expensive Texas Chainsaw 03 on disc? Spare no expense.
That's right.
Stephanie Neal, July 2nd, 2022, 1 star. Language. Way too much language. Every other word, F. This and that and the GD. These are all in quotes. I can't do. Yeah. All these fucks and goddams and goddamn fucks. I love horror movies. I'm used to, but the amount was just like ridiculous. That's still hard to say. I'm used to most, but the amount was just like ... ridiculous. I had a hard time reading Stephanie Neal's Valley Girl kind of take there.
You have to say, I'm sorry, I guess I just fuck up sometimes.
Way too much language, every other word, F this and that and the GD, can't do it. Love horror movies, I'm used to most of them, but this was like ridiculous.
Whatever.
Okay. Matthew Kiefer.
Is he related to Sutherland? That's not how that works. That's not how names work.
The Kiefers of Kiefers of Santa Carla. He's got little Kiefers at home. When he's tagging his old lady, he's a mother Kiefer.
God damn it.
April 26, 2018, 1 star. I didn't order this?
Question mark?
There's an interesting twist. Usually it's I didn't order this, or my son ordered this by accident. No, this is he's not even sure of himself. I didn't order this. Who am I here?
Or did I?
Like, what kind of fucking review is that? Is a one sentence question. I didn't order this. Like,
did you check for a gift receipt?
Like, I feel like he wrote, I didn't order, and he's confident. Then he got to, shit, wait, did I order? I could have ordered this. I don't know. Either way, I don't like it.
No, sir, I don't like it.
I don't like it. William McGraw. Now, that's a sheriff in Texas sounding name if I've ever heard one. Bill McGraw. August 16th, 2016. 1 star. Worst $2.99 ever.
He found the more expensive copy.
It's almost double.
There it is.
Yeah. Old Bill McGraw is pissed on the $3 he spent on this piece of shit.
$3 is pretty fair. I would, why? That's a 20-year-old movie.
I would say that to own, too. But that's probably to rent, but it should be to own. Patty Looney.
Looney.
You call Patty a loony again, and I'll kill you.
Her father stormed the beach at Normandy.
October 10th, 2016. 1 star. Wrong movie.
Uh-oh. Tried to order the original? Is that what this is going to be?
Probably. I don't know. That's all she says. Wrong movie.
Oh.
Could have been anything, I guess she was trying to order. Could have been the Texas Chainsaw Manicure.
God damn it.
Let's see. Rondale Dale Branch, July 29th, 2016, 1 star. I did not mean to buy this item, and I want my money back in my account now.
God damn it. How do you... Oh, probably meant to buy the first one.
Probably, but I like you're like, buy. Are you sure? Yes. Standard,
Shipping
high
information.
def. Standard. Yeah, shipping information. Standard. Confirm order. He's like 5 clicks in, like, oh shit, I messed up. I meant to say no on the last one.
When can I back out of this?
He likes to tease himself, like, yeah, order it. Cancel it.
Yeah, it's some weird sex thing. Gets him off.
I mean, I'll take it over this fad that's going on now. People like watching human NPCs.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's super. Oh. I literally just found out about this NPC fad going on, and like, I couldn't tolerate someone doing a review about it for 11 minutes. I can't imagine 90 hour, even 40 minutes of this person doing this shit over and over and over again.
So that's a thing, and then for whatever reason now, my daughter will literally watch an hour-long video of someone being like, this is a such and such keyboard, like for your computer, and being like, listen to the fucking clicks. They just push all the buttons. It's not ASMR, but it's like, this is a really good keyboard. Like, it's got the spring back, the buttons are good, and it just fucking... And I'm like, I'm gonna fucking murder everyone in this house. You're watching this on surround sound. It's the most annoying fucking thing that has ever existed. Fuck off.
I had my equivalent of that literally the other day, because the youngest in the house will occasionally watch Markiplier videos. And I came in to ask her something the other day, and I was like, what are you watching? She's like, the Markiplier. I was like, man, that dude needs to fall down a flight of steps. And she's like, yeah, that's harsh. And I'm like, what? He gets paid how much money to just go watching video games?
My kids watch him all the time.
And like, why are you so bitter? I was like, because we put a lot more fucking effort into our shit, and we have 1/18th or 1/32nd amount of people that are able to see our shit as opposed to watch. So we just flail our arms and scream and tap our keyboards.
The thing is, you gotta talk like this, and then you gotta be real handsome. That's a Markiplier thing. Got that hair and muscles. And then, yeah.
I fucking hate it. I can't stand it.
I've never listened to him that much. I don't even know if he sounds like that. I just saw
kind of.
I just seen constant clips where he's just flailing his arms playing something that has a jump scare in it. And I was like, I don't know what. I told her, like, no, that shit's real. I was like, I don't know if he's just that much of an overactor, or maybe he's on 12 cups of coffee and he's just a fucking puss. But I was like, I've never jumped that much playing a video game. At most, we've had
yeah, and like,
that's
spoiler alert, he's recording the gameplay footage and then recording his reactions separate.
Oh,
because it's like making a movie. Spoiler alert. It's not real. Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain.
So back to our hardworking, low-budget indie YouTube and podcast world. Mikhail Bichel, or Bichel, Bechtel. It's a fuck of a name. We'll just bypass it. January 20th, 2017, 1 star. Big fan of cannibalism, but Jessica Biel was good all.
What the fuck?
This DVD was okay, but not a big fan of cannibalism. But Jessica Biel was good all say. Probably means I'll say. Like, oh, that Biel looks pretty good, I'll say. But again, this movie, it alludes to cannibalism.
Yeah, we never really see.
It's not as out there as other ones will be, but okay. Nivek, August 6, 2005, 1 star. Gee, all poor Leatherface needed was some skin cream and a shrink. And a nose, but this is a terrifying trend in modern horror films, villains with psychiatric issues. I, for one, find this to be a cheap, pitiful cop-out and just silly. This movie, although filmed dark and moody, isn't really scary. And Leatherface comes off as a weird kid in school with a lot of acne who just finally snapped. That's more telling than I think you want to be telling. Why filmmakers find the need to remake everything these days is beyond me. I can tell you why. But this is one
built-in audience.
Yeah, but this one was really unnecessary. The updating doesn't really help this time around. Maybe Leatherface was just crazy. Why can't these villains just be sick in the head without new personal self-image problems? Come on, people. Save that crap for the next Hillary Duff movie. That's a very 2005 Hillary Duff.
I was going to say, what year did that review come out?
05. Toby Hooper. Toby Hooper, this movie is an insult to what you created, and I apologize for having seen it.
This is the beginning. 2005, this is the beginning of the voices on the internet, and then
Yeah, this is the iceberg.
The softening. Yeah, the softening of people. Like, this person clearly saw something of themselves in this movie, and then was like, I'm going to project it in my review.
And I'm going to shout out Toby Hooper because I know he's going to read all of these and be like, I was right. I was justified in my movie. This remake is bullshit because I didn't make it. All right. And the last 1 star, I could not do anything but save this one for last, from Kindle customer, so Todd. On April 4th, 2004.
On a Kindle?
Yeah.
Dang.
1 star. The remake of what movie? Or I should say, the remake of what movie? All in caps with this. And again, it's put together weird. So I'll try to do as best as I can with what I think their interpretation is. Okay, this is the stupidest remake I have ever seen. Where is the cook, Frank, crazy brother, hitchhiker, or even the plot? The left so much out of the refake, it is like watching failed sequel. The movie doesn't even show a show and meat eating witch, which is the point of the kids getting killed and the grave robbings. Where are they at? The ending is to this one all sucked also. If you watch part 2 after watch the remake, it makes no sense. CENS. That's the kind of thing I'm working with here. But if you watch part 2 with the real TCM, then it makes sense. He does it twice. In this one, they added some new / dumb ideas too, like having the teens be potheads, hitchhiker suicide, a little kid, aka a little brother, a crazy cop kidnapping crazy woman, and made Leatherface really smart in this one. No one talk about cannibalism at all, and this refake sucks.
Woo. Yeah. The 2004.
Yeah.
Anger. I have a voice. Allow my voice to echo through Amazon.
He misspelled sense twice the exact same way. CENS. And
damn it.
And there's weird spaces too, like that whole, like, a sentence is structured like this. Okay, this is the stupidest remake I have ever. Next line, scene, period. Next line, where is the cook, Frank, crazy brother / hitch? Next line, hiker, or even the plot? No question mark. The left so much out of the refake. It is like watching a failed sequel. And then down further, it's the ending to this one sucked also. The ending to this one sucked. Next line. Also, next line. If you watch part 2, like, oh.
Good God. Maybe the Kindle has a weird sentence structure. Maybe the screen's real small. That's fucking weird.
I don't know. He sounds like he could have maybe he's that kid from the movie a year later. He's a little bit older. He got him a Kindle and
get it down.
He's writing the review with his teeth.
I hate the way that kid talks because those dentures are far too big for his fucking mouth. You know, he'd like tried them on and they're like, do these work? And he's like,
no.
Kinda. And they're like, yeah, you sound great, kid.
All right. That's a rubber ducky buggy bumper.
Say lily-livered lip liquor.
The arsonist was denied a bank loan. Or the Human Torch was denied a bank loan. Unique New York.
sidebar to that, when Tyson was little, he could not say his L's, so we literally did. We used to have him do speech therapy, and we'd have him say like lily livered lip liquor, because he used to go yo ever yip yicker all the way till he was like 6.
And that would have been perfect for this movie. Just don't use L's in anything you say, and leave the teeth as your regular ass teeth, and you'll sound perfect.
You'll sound just fine.
You'll sound like a true Hewitt.
Hewitt blew it.
You blew it!
The Hewitts blew it. There you go. There's your review for Texas Chainsaw Massacre 04. We put it on or 03. We put it on the side of the package. Hewitt blew it.
It's fine for what it is, but it's
a gray. I put it as a total gray. Like, I don't love it. I don't hate it. I don't have any feelings about it. It's as plain as vanilla ice cream. Like, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Just wish it had some hot fudge or some sprinkles or something. But
anything.
On that note, Evil, since we're done with the Amazon 1-star reviews, what does that mean?
It's time for another very difficult part of the show for me, until it just hit me like clear blue sky. It's time to play the game.
It's time to play the game. Time to play the game!
It's all about the game and how you play it. The crime scene was not properly secured by Travis County Police. 2 investigating officers are fatally wounded that day. This is the only known image of Thomas Hewitt, the man they call Leatherface. The case today remains open.
Oh, indeed. Well, that's right. It's time to play the game. And if you're new here, welcome. But you're probably scratching your head asking yourself, what is the game? Well, the game is a deep cut in and of itself where you gotta pick a prop from the movie that we are covering, but it can't be a well-known prop. So, since we're covering the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, I'll just go ahead and say you can't take Leatherface's mask, you can't take Leatherface's chainsaw. Those are low-hanging fruit, so you gotta pick something weird, different, off the beaten track, and let us know in the comments on Spotify, let us know on our Discord, let us know on YouTube, Patreon, Facebook, anywhere you find us. Let us know that weird prop you pick, because we gotta know.
We do gotta know. And Podbean, I'm looking at you. Don't be cutting shit off early again. I know you cut things off a little early on TCM2. Don't let it happen again, or we'll take one of your arms
and beat you with it.
Stick it in Leatherface's stump.
So he has a new arm.
Yeah.
So he could have a sequel.
I got finished with this movie and I was like, I don't have any fucking idea what I would
Got nothing, huh?
would want to take from this. And then I just went back and I was like, oh yeah, when legless dude is feeling up Jessica Biel's ass, I'm like, give me those jeans.
Jessica Biel's jeans.
I'm thinking Jessica Biel's hip-hugging, low-riding jeans, which I'm waiting for those to make a comeback, because it seems like it went the other way. Like super, like overtly mega high-waisted pants are what's in now. Like pants that come right about mid-sternum is when they start. Like, man, I remember in this time frame, like, yeah, if you were seeing pelvic bone, that's about the right length, height of these jeans, which is exactly what Jessica Biel's wearing in this movie. Not 73, 78, 70s at all, but very much in that niche time frame of 03.
With like the butt dimples, when you can see the two little dimples right above the that's
03.
Super cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I got no problem with that at all, I'll tell you. Unless it's my daughter wearing it, then I'll kick her in her fucking face. But
that's a bit excessive.
Your daughter can wear.
You could just get a
not
sweater.
Your daughter, but yeah.
Just put a sweater on them instead.
If you want to destroy my sweater. Is that a Weezer reference? I shouldn't do that.
I have no idea what you were doing there.
Nobody likes Weezer, but
I like a little Weezer.
That's asthma. You can just get it, you know.
A little person with asthma. That's a little Weezer.
when I was a kid, they used to call me Little Weezer. But god damn it. So yeah, as far as my prop goes, dude, there's a couple of things in here that I like.
Saran wrap container.
So, number one, this is the first thing I thought of, is the Lynyrd Skynyrd 8-track tape.
Ooh.
Because that's cool, nostalgic, and retro already. So I like that a lot. Number 2, if I got to pick something from like deep in the movie when there's, you know, some form of action, my favorite sequence in this entire movie, and they use the shit out of it in the trailer, is running through the clotheslines. I don't know what I love this clothesline thing, because obviously they do that in Halloween 6, and that's my
say like, yeah, that's going for a sweet spot for you.
Mm-hmm. And so the other part of me wants the tire iron.
Okay.
You know, so it's between those two for me. But there are a lot of cool things in this movie. Just weird, odd things like the jar with the picture.
Yeah, that I was thinking that, or the pistol, like the pussy pistol.
That's gross. Pussy pistol. Arlie Ermey's fake teeth.
Oh yeah.
Hell, I like Skinner. A lot of cool, odd things in this movie. But I think, yeah, even as far, I almost went as far as to, I even wrote it down, the when the guy gets his leg cut off and they drag him to the basement and his fingernails break off into the wall.
Yeah,
his
that
fingernails. Hurts. Yeah, the broken fingernails.
That's hardcore. If
Any finger trauma.
I don't like it.
And eye trauma. Those are the problems.
Yeah, I don't like
we
either
got
of
problems
those.
with those.
Maybe if I went a goofy route, I would take Arlie Ermey's like run over dummy corpse. Like, hopefully he had tread marks and shit on it. It looks like the dude from Beetlejuice that we were talking about before. Like, yeah. That's what he should look like. So if I'm not taking pervy Jessica Biel's jeans, give me Arlie Ermey's dummy.
You know, it's got fully articulated joints, but I just hope it has like a really like road rash beat up like life mask of Arlie Ermey.
I want to be like, you could pick it up and like bits of rock and shit will fall like crumbling from it when you move it around. Like if you just had, like if you're walking through a gravel road in your shoes, like you pick your shoes up, like some of that rock and dust is where you had it laying. Like that's what I want from this mannequin dummy prop.
And if you shake it hard enough, little drops of water come out because it's like the water is inside all the joints still from it being outside, being shot for like 18 hours.
Yeah, dead bugs and shit, just shaking all the stuff that starts falling from inside of it. You can hear something rattling inside it. You don't know if it's a June bug or a rock. It could be either one. Like, I'm not going to investigate to see what's rattling inside this body.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. The Arlie Ermey dummy is real good, dude.
Just throw that shit out in the fucking road. Just pour fake blood all over it. I quit dead to my boy.
Do the CKY and like throw it off a bridge at a car. That would kill everyone.
Yeah, I live on a street that's pretty isolated, and you're not going to get very fast on it, maybe 15 miles an hour if you're really cranking it down. So I'm all right throwing his corpse on my street and covering it in fake blood, because that's not going to fuck up too many people, but just the ones that live around here.
Just drive around it real slow. What the fuck is it?
It'll wreck the not Uber, but the Amazon Prime drivers, because they swing by quite frequently. Oh, what the hell is this shit?
Put it right by your mailbox, so they gotta pull out further into the road. Yeah. I feel like mine is a little bit of a cop-out, because I picked like three or four, but it was tough for me, dude. There's so many weird things.
Yeah.
Kemper's, or not Kemper, but Jonathan Tucker's glasses.
Oh, yeah. That's not bad.
Or the chandelier that he gets hung up on. You know, again, there's just a lot. There's a lot. So, I'll just go with the tire iron, man. I'll go with the tire iron. Just final answer.
So many things, so little time. Yeah, let us know what you would want to take. Any of those things, or maybe there's something we didn't mention that's even better. Like, I'm always ears to hear what someone wants to take from this, and I'm always curious if anyone did take anything from the set. I should have started asking that whenever we meet celebs. Like, did you take anything from movie sets, and what was it?
I just had a complete retroactive thought as soon as you said the set.
Yeah.
Why didn't we take the fucking swing from the first Texas Chainsaw that she's sitting on, and then they do that amazing dolly shot following her to the porch?
I don't know.
I would kill to have that fucking swing, and Didn't say that.
Didn't say
4
that.
weeks ago, or 8 weeks ago, or however many fucking weeks ago that was.
Sidebar to that, I still keep telling the wife, if we ever make it to Tennessee, we're going to go to where the Evil Dead Cabin's location was, and I'm going to take some of those, shed roof, some of that, like, steel sheet metal roof that's still laying out there, and if that, like, all they have left is these giant rocks around the fire pit, and I'm like, I know it's going to be a long walk, and that's probably 50, 100 pounds of rock, but I was like, I don't give a fuck. I'll die carrying one of those rocks. The unbelievable, like, you took one of the rocks from the fireplace? Yep. And I broke the fucker in half, so so we could each have one.
Meteor shit.
Yeah, my arms are shot. I have no feeling left in either one of them. I feel like someone cut them both off at the elbows, but I got my rock.
Goddamn right.
So if there's a rock that ends up missing from there, don't blame us.
Make sure you take like some tin snips so you don't have to take a whole sheet of the roof. You can just cut off little corners and then we can like make necklaces out of them or something.
Necklaces.
Because I can imagine you trying to carry a whole sheet of
I
that
would.
metal and the wind catches you and you just keep getting fucking thrown to the ground.
No, I'm just baking underneath it like it's just metal and sun beating down on it. I'm just sweating underneath this big sheet metal. That's just like if I just grab an edge, like it just starts crumbling more and more on each side.
You're just like walking with a limp, humming.
Or I start with a full like big piece of sheet metal, and by the time I get back to the car, it's like in 7 pieces. I get broke, and it kept breaking on me. So now I just stacked it up in a little pile in my arm.
Yeah. At least the wind wouldn't take you.
Yeah. I'll do it some way.
We're gonna get it.
I'm
We're gonna
getting
have
that
pieces
shit.
of the original Evil Dead cabin, one way or another.
Yep.
But yeah, I suppose in 2 weeks we'll be back to discuss what happened before this movie.
The origins. Yeah, we're going into our 7th Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie.
I can't believe that. And we still got like 7 more to go. It feels like.
Or no, 5th, 6th. I don't know. I've
It's
lost
fifth,
track.
Fifth. It's 5th.
5th.
Because this was the 5th.
This is the 5th.
So
then we got the
next
6th.
week or 2 weeks will be the 6th. Yeah.
6th, yeah. Then because we have 9 total Texas
Nine,
Chainsaws. That it'll be 10 podcasts when we're all said and done. Because by the time we get to the end of the movies, the game will have been out for a bit, and we'll have our 2 cents on how we feel about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre video game. Mm-hmm. Since this is part of the Slash and Cast network, got to do a game tie-in. Feel bad we haven't been able to do one for Elm Street or Halloween yet, but maybe one day.
One day. Yeah, and as the time of recording this, we're still part of Slash and Cast podcast network. Hopefully they don't fire us.
I think aren't we like one of the few that's still hung on this long? I know some have kind of fallen off the radar and just moved on. I was like, are we one of the few, the proud, the Slash and Cast podcast network guys?
Yeah, I mean, we're OGs. We're not going anywhere until they make us go somewhere, but...
I don't want to go nowhere. I hate moving.
Me too, and I love it here. This is a nice, clean bandwidth, but I suppose on that note, we should probably get going, because after all, there's a lot of movies out there, and somebody's got to watch them, so why not us? Right?
Well, I guess that's what brains look like. Sort of like lasagna. Kind of. All right, I'll shut up now.